So Kyle carried one of those AR-15 assault rifles around. It's not an assault rifle. It's a sporting rifle. And one of the complaints is, well, Anthony Huber, all he had was one of those little harmless skateboards. That's not fair. A skateboard against a rifle? A rifle is a deadly weapon. A skateboard? Oh, come on.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dredd to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dredd Show.
Listen to our buddy talk a bit more about skateboards.
All of the reports say that he was hit in the head with a skateboard, sure, after he murdered the first protester. Then he killed the man who hit him in the head with a skateboard. But let's also say getting hit in the head with a skateboard, I don't know if you've ever had a skateboard, if you've owned one, if you've been on one. Those aren't exactly the heaviest items.
2 to 4 pounds typically. That can do it.
In fact, they're actually made pretty light these days so that you can actually do tricks and whatnot with them.
2 to 4 pounds. Whether that is light or not, matter of perspective. Okay, so here we go. News item number 1. Man dies after being hit in head with skateboard during fight in Santa Ana Starbucks. Well, that sounds like a really good Starbucks to hang out. I could see skateboard fights erupting in Santa Ana, by the way. A man was killed after being hit in the head with a skateboard in an act of self-defense during a fight in a Santa Ana Starbucks. Around 12:30, a fight broke out between two men. Authorities received calls regarding an assault with a deadly weapon inside the Starbucks. After authorities arrived, a man in his 50s was transported to Orange County Global Medical Center where he succumbed to his injuries. The other person involved, a man in his 20s, I wonder which one was carrying the skateboard, remained at the scene. He was taken to the Santa Ana Police Department for questioning. It was unclear what led to the fight, but witness Carmen Gomez, who worked nearby, said the man in his 50s was yelling and screaming at her. Yeah, okay. He's yelling and screaming at you. That doesn't necessarily mean much, but okay. He was like, you're going to pay. You're going to pay. Everybody's going to pay. That's when I walked away and I thought this guy is talking a little gibberish. Witnesses also said the man appearing to be... Witnesses also said the man appeared to be acting erratically outside of the coffee shop, even banging on one of the shop's front windows. The witness added that the man walked into the store, approached the younger man who was with his girlfriend seated at a table, and began acting aggressively toward him, which may have led to the confrontation. Who started the fight, why it happened, those are all things that are going to have to come up, but we have to go through the process of interviewing all the witnesses. Okay, so this could have been a legitimate act of self-defense. It could have been just an assault. We don't know. But there's one thing that is true here. The skateboard killed a man. Okay, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Here's another news item. Man intervening in fist fight was struck with skateboard and died 3 days later. Eureka man already in jail is booked more than 6 months later. A Eureka man has been accused of using his skateboard to fatally injure an onlooker who tried to intervene in an altercation. More than 6 months after the fight, police learned of the connection between the attack and the victim's Christmas Day death. Jason Ryan Barnes, 49, was booked Monday on suspicion of homicide related to the death of Bernhard Ben Bertain, 58, of Humboldt County. Why does it always seem like there's like old dude versus young dude? Barnes was already in custody at the county jail on an unrelated matter when the arrest warrant was issued. He remains in custody now, but he faces a bail amount of $1 million. Okay, so around 9 a.m. on December 22nd, Barnes was reportedly involved in an altercation with a woman at the Burr Center shopping plaza in Eureka. While an employee of one of the stores attempted to get between Barnes and the woman, Bertain exited his pickup truck to assist. Okay, I'll say something here. You know, you have to be really careful about this kind of thing. It's good to be able to get in there, intervene, and do good, But man, bad things can happen really fast, and you just have to weigh the consequences here. Just like Huber and Grosskreutz, right? You have to decide for yourself whether it's worth it. And things can go south on you really fast. During the confrontation, Barnes allegedly struck Bertain in the torso with a skateboard deck and then fled. When police arrived, Bertain declined medical treatment. So it didn't seem like he was hurt that badly, at least initially. But 3 days later, on Christmas, Bertain called 911 to report he was having trouble breathing. He was taken to Mad River Community Hospital, wow, okay, in Arcata, and then flown to Queen of the Valley Hospital in Napa, I remember that town, for a higher level of care, according to Eureka Police. At the Napa Hospital, Bertain died. The Napa County Coroner's report indicated the cause of death was homicide resulting from the injuries Bertain suffered during the assault with Barnes, according to information from the Eureka Police. The specific cause has not yet been released. Okay, so we have another person died after getting hit by a skateboard in the torso. He wasn't even hit in the head. Man dies after being hit with skateboard. A Renton man who was hit over the head with a skateboard during an argument in the University District died yesterday. Dimitri Andrews died at 5:50 p.m. According to Harborview Medical Center spokeswoman Susan Gregg Hansen. He would have turned 34 today. Andrews was driving on University Way Northeast near Northeast 45th Street about 8:30 p.m. Tuesday when he slammed on his brakes to avoid hitting three skateboarders who rode into the street. Andrews honked and was agitated when he got out of his car and started arguing with one of the skateboarders. Then another skateboarder hit him over the head from behind with his board. Gee, now where have we heard something like that before? Oh yeah, with Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle is running, and Anthony Huber, who's running at full speed behind him, takes a wide swing at Kyle. It's not clear whether he actually hit Kyle at that moment. This is right before Kyle fell down. And then he grabs his skateboard and runs over and tries to hit Kyle in the head again. But keep in mind, the very first assault, it was Huber coming up from behind Kyle and taking a very wide swing with the skateboard at him. As Andrews fell to the ground, the skateboarders ran off. Police were called and paramedics took Andrews to the hospital. The skateboarders were described as white men in their early 20s. Gee, that is a real shock. The man who hit Andrews was described as 5'6", with brown hair, and was wearing a wool hat, probably a beanie. Okay, you get the picture? A skateboard is a deadly weapon. If it's a hard object and you throw it at the head, it's a deadly weapon. Now, let's take a look at what Wisconsin says about what is a deadly weapon. This is Wisconsin Statute, Section 939-2210. Dangerous weapon means any firearm, whether loaded or unloaded, any device designed as a weapon and capable of producing death or great bodily harm. Any electric weapon, as defined in this Section 941, or any other device or instrumentality which in the manner it is used or intended to be used is calculated or likely to produce death or great bodily harm. Okay, so Anthony Huber running behind Kyle takes a very wide swing at him with the skateboard. The skateboard in that instance is a dangerous weapon. And that constitutes assault with a deadly weapon, maybe even attempted murder. Now, if you don't believe that Anthony Huber actually took 2 swipes at Kyle, I just did a video on it. It's pretty clear. And so I would encourage you to watch the video. I'll put a link down below. And we will now put this to rest. The skateboard is a dangerous weapon in the manner that Anthony Huber used it. It is ridiculous to consider the skateboard a harmless object. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.